Welcome to Ask Ms. ERP. The topic of this video is who owns your ERP? Hello everyone, Ms. ERP here. Ownership is definitely a governance topic, and I covered some related information in video number 21. Since an ERP is a shared system, it is sometimes difficult to identify owners. Regardless, I suggest that you do define who has ownership of what, or else there may be some confusion when it comes to decision making. Not something that you want to figure out in a crisis situation. The goal of defining ownership is to minimize risk and increase business value of your ERP, which is likely one of your most important systems. Ultimately, this will ensure that the appropriate stakeholders are involved in decisions pertaining to the ERP. There are usually three types of owners. An asset owner, who is typically the CIO, is generally responsible for governance, security, and compliance. In this case, the asset is the ERP system. This person certainly can, and likely will, delegate responsibility, but they cannot delegate their accountability. The second type of owner is the business application owner, typically the VP of the business area that has the highest use of the application. In video number 21, I referred to an executive sponsor, who would be a good candidate for your business application owner. For ERPs, this is usually the CFO, but in an ideal situation, it would be your CEO. This person is accountable for ensuring that the application is meeting business needs and is expected to support the asset owner. They are responsible for oversight of business day-to-day operations, which usually gets distributed to multiple functional areas in the case of an ERP. The third type of owner is what I will call the support owner, who is typically the manager of the IT support team. They are responsible for IT day-to-day operations and are expected to support both the asset owner and the business application owner. I will now drill into these in a bit more detail. A joint accountability of both the asset owner and the business application owner is to drive your ERP application strategy for the future, ensuring alignment with company and IT strategies. If you have an enterprise architect, they would be involved, along with any business architects. This likely would lead to participation in any budgeting activities for the agreed-upon roadmap and tracking progress against either plans or budgets. The asset owner should have oversight of the company's cybersecurity and access policies, of which your ERP is just one component. This person should be delegating most application access reviews to the business application owner, but needs to make sure that the reviews are facilitated and happening on a regular basis. They also typically have accountability to ensure that your application is license compliant and that any needed standards around technology and information are actually created and being adhered to. They would facilitate risk assessments to understand, document, and either accept or mitigate areas of non-compliance. The asset owner is also accountable to ensure that any technical patching, such as security patching, is being performed, along with making sure that backups are happening and disaster recovery plans are in place and tested as far as possible. The business application owner has a lot of accountability, all around making sure that your ERP is meeting business needs. They need to act as an advocate of any governance committees, ensuring internal support is being provided for the committee's work. These folks are the owners of the data and will need to ensure that the users understand the nature of the information in the ERP and how to handle it, which might involve an understanding of integration points and relationships between systems. They also will identify any enhancements or new functionality enablement that is needed, providing business resources as required for any resulting project work. For any changes, patching, or upgrades, business application owners need to identify the critical business testing required for verification of success, likely providing resources to do the actual business testing. They also will be the ones reviewing and approving any change to the ERP application and will need to communicate any business impact to the end users. They need to ensure that required application access is defined accurately, with the right processes in place to obtain approvals and perform regular reviews. It is likely that their team will need to provide basic support to users and deliver end-user training, and to keep those training materials up to date. They are also accountable for business continuity, which means participating in disaster recovery exercises and having solid business continuity plans in place. Then we have the support owner, who does everything else. This person may be in the business, but in my experience is usually in IT and is typically the manager of the ERP support team. This person gets a lot of the stuff that the asset owner delegates, which may include helping the business application owners to understand their obligations. The support owner needs to coordinate IT resources for strategy and roadmap development or to support projects and day-to-day demand. They typically are the ones that manage the IT vendors, ensuring any contracts or service agreements are in place and are being updated as needed. They should be accountable for making sure that there are service level agreements in place, both with the business and any vendors, and usually handle any escalations, whether internal or external. They need to ensure that the right monitoring and metrics are in place to evaluate service delivery, either internally or with third parties. They are usually responsible for communicating changes and outages to the user community and may need to provide training and support as required for the business. If you can take the time to define ERP ownership for your company, I promise you that it will provide business value, as everyone will be clear on what responsibilities their role is accountable for, which will speed up decision-making, usually the tricky part with an ERP. This concludes the Who Owns Your ERP topic. There is a link on askmserp.com to email me to ask questions or suggest topics for future videos. Or you can just add comments on any YouTube video. Please subscribe to my channel. Thanks, and see you on the next video.